Hello, my loves. Hello, beautiful people. You clicked on this video because you're questioning, is it you that's having anxiety and you really don't belong in the space that you feel like you're in? Or are there other outside factors that are making you feel this way? The short answer is yes, there are other outside factors, but it doesn't mean that you do not play a part in it. And I'm going to explain. We're going to get right into it. Just keep on watching. Now, before I give you all of the juicy details of why you may be feeling the way that you feel, I want you to keep in mind that studies show that mostly women and minority groups fall into this category. They're easily susceptible to the influences around them. So if you fall within those groups, it's not surprising. So don't count yourself out. And all of this is going to make sense when I talk about the 3 perspectives that can influence you to have these feelings. So let's start with number 1. So the first perspective that we're going to consider is a societal perspective. When you think about society, we have these preconceived notions or these stereotypes that we like to place people in, and sometimes they're not very accurate, yet that is something that society does. So when you are sitting here and you are questioning, are you in the right place and are you worthy of whatever situation that you are in? Question, is it something that is a stereotype and you feel like you just don't fit in those boxes? That's what the societal perspective is. So they are unrealistic expectations of someone, as if us as a race or us as a people or gender, you're supposed to fall within a specific category. And when you don't, you're questioning, am I supposed to be here? Am I any lesser than? But that's not true. So a good example that I can come up with, and that was actually in the article, was leadership. When you think about leadership, what exactly do you picture leadership to be? And when I say that, I mean as far as gender, race, attributes. What does leadership look like? Most people probably wouldn't say a woman. They would say a man, someone who's fit, someone who's clever, someone who makes decisive decisions, someone who's careful, things of that nature. And when you feel like you're not checking all those physical boxes or some of those attributes, you're doubting if you're the person for the job, if you're the person for the position. But you are. It's just society's perspective makes you question those things because you're not the generic template that society puts down, and that's okay. So it really may be influencing you to have doubt, which isn't necessarily your fault. You are responding to what society expects you to be. Now, this next perspective is a little bit different than societal. This is institutional. So when I'm saying institution, I'm talking about government, I'm talking about education, companies, things of that nature. So unlike societal, for institutional, this is something that we have full control of. We have the ability to show representation. And the problem is with institutional, there's either an over-representation of something or an under-representation of something. So when you are looking around you, is it a situation where you feel like you as a minority, you are underrepresented? So that can mean like when you're going for your surgeon residency, but everyone that looks like you is the assistant or a nurse instead of the surgeon. And because you're seeing this, you feel like you don't belong. You feel out of place. And that's not because that's what society deems to be the representation, but the organization, the institution has put this in place. They have not shown accurately their demographic of their people, which leaves you thinking that you're alone. And you're not. Now, the last one we're going to talk about is interpersonal perspective. So this one is a little bit tricky. And like I had said in the beginning, this is where it might not be just outside factors influencing you, but also a little bit of inwardness doing the same thing as well. So with impersonal perspective, it's essentially where you are internalizing how other people are reacting around you or acting to you, and therefore you're coming up with these notions for yourself. So that can mean if you're interacting with someone or you're having a lack of interaction with other people around you and you feel like you're the only different one, it may in turn have you think, you're not as worth the same as everyone else, or you don't belong here because people are not communicating with you when you're just as qualified as them. So in turn, it's like you are getting this weird energy from other people, but then because you're getting that weird energy, you're also saying to yourself, maybe I don't belong here. And then you're almost accepting what they're giving to you and you're internalizing it, if that makes sense. So in a sense, is it somebody else influencing you to feel that way? Yes, but you are also basically accepting it and making it so that you feel that way. Now, the catch to all this is, yeah, sometimes we do have imposter syndrome. Sometimes we question, are we where we're supposed to be? Do I belong here? Why am I here? You know, am I good enough? That is normal. But we got to get through those times. We have to be able to understand that it is normal and move forward and still be able to rise, because there is the downside of, if you're feeling these negative thoughts, it's likely right behind you. You can come tumbling down if you do not get yourself in the right mind state to continue to push forward because of those perspectives, because of your internalization. So that's why we're going to talk about how to combat it and solutions. So if you're having doubts, try making a list. Put down those societal perspective or institutional perspective or even the interpersonal perspective of what you think a person in this position should look like, should be doing, and see if you add up or you match with those boxes. Because more than likely you do. You would have never been in the position in the first place if you didn't fit those qualifications that were needed. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter your gender. As long as you're able to do the job, you are able to do what you are supposed to do. You are meant to be in the program. And honestly, if that's not enough, sometimes you gotta almost just fake it to make it. So that means saying positive affirmations, speaking positivity to you, because it's so easy when you say something negative to internalize it. So make sure that you're saying something positive, something to uplift you, something to make you feel like, you know, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. And then own your accomplishments. You got there because you were supposed to be there. I've said that throughout this whole video. So own it. Don't question it. Own it. And I hope out of all of this, guys, the biggest takeaway that you can get from this is that sometimes the thoughts that we have, it's a product or a psychological response to our environment, to what is reinforced out there. And it's not all you, but that doesn't mean it's an excuse. So if you're feeling imposter syndrome, get yourself up, understand why you feel the way you feel, and push forward, because you are already going against the odds. Keep moving forward. So guys, if you fell within any of those 3 perspectives that I said, make sure that you give this video a like. I will make sure I put down in the description bar the studies that I have read on it to give you just a little bit more input for you to even check it out yourself. I hope that you like this video. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.